Okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday, September 16th meeting of the Needham Commission on Disabilities. We will get started by welcoming our newest member and our guest. Do you want to let the guest in, Tatiana?
Yes, I will.
All right, Alexa is trying to get in, she just said.
Yep, I'm letting her in as well.
Perfect.
I think we're all here.
Okay, excellent. And Karen should be along. I'll let you know if I hear from her.
Mhm.
So good evening, everybody, and welcome to our meeting. We want to get started by welcoming our newest member, Michael Marciello, and our guest this evening. So we are going to go around and do some introductions. Welcome, Anne-Marie. Welcome, Phil. We're glad to have you with us this evening.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So Michael, why don't you start and introduce yourselves, and then we'll let our guests, and then we'll go around and introduce us and our roles.
Sure. Thanks. Excited to be here. Michael Marciello, born and raised in Somerville. I've been a Massachusetts resident forever and a Needham resident for about 25 years. I went to school down in Philadelphia for medical school and came back and did my residency. So I'm a physician in physiatry. Did my residency at Spalding Rehab Hospital and been a disability, chronic pain and spine management physician for many years. Back in the 90s, I went through school, so don't want to date myself too much. Currently own a practice with a chiropractor, and we have an integrated medical practice where we do functional recovery in relation to spine and joint pains. Been in the process, I joined my partner because I had to find, for the most part, a different practice alternative as I started losing vision about 13 years ago and found to have a diagnosis of a genetic inherited retinal disease called Stargardt's disease, which is a macular degeneration problem. So I've become legally blind probably about 3 years ago. So for the most part, I still see fairly well, but very spotty at times as my vision has gotten worse. And so I'm on a disability status in relation to vision, and I've been looking to be part of this group prepped for many years, but finally said, hey, look, I got to think about reaching out, and I'm glad to be part.
Yes, and we're very glad to have you. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yep. Anne-Marie and Phil, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, thank you. Thank you for having us tonight. I am Anne-Marie Bajwa, the President and CEO of the Charles River Center. I've been with the organization for 17 years, 7 years in the capacity of CEO and President. Thank you. We're very excited to be here tonight. Phil?
And also thanks for having me. My name is Phil Crean. I'm a project manager with the Planning Office for Urban Affairs, and we're a nonprofit affiliate of the Archdiocese of Boston. And our core mission is to develop housing in the greater Boston area, affordable rental, mixed income, homeownership. We do a little bit of everything. Happy to chat with you all this evening.
Great. Welcome. So I'm Carol Thomas. I'm one of the co-chairs, and Karen Morales, the other co-chair, is trying to get in. Tatiana, she's having trouble. I don't know if you can resend her a link.
Yeah,
email.
she's not here, but I'll resend it to her.
Resend her a link. Yep.
Yep.
Jeannie.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Martin. I am departing as co-chair. I hope to attend meetings here and there, but this is probably officially my final meeting with the group.
Great. Thank you. Pardis. And you're on mute. Let me give her a minute to get off of mute. While we wait, Kelly, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Officer Kelly Scopanetti with the Needham Police Department. I'm the liaison for the committee.
Okay, great. Maureen?
Hi, I'm Maureen Callahan. I've been living for 23 years, adult son with autism, and he's actually gets service from the Charles River Center.
Excellent. And Pardis, I see you're off of mute. If you want to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay, sorry for that. Sorry. My name is Paradis Springer. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm living in Needham for a bit more than 2 years. I'm blind, and I'm working in Perkins School for the Blind as an AmeriCorps service member. So I'm also in Needham Commission on Disabilities for, I think, almost a year and a half. Thank you.
Lynn.
Yes, hi, I'm Lynn Rodman. I'm just starting my second term as of tonight and excited to be part of this group again. I joined the commission. I have a rare neurological condition, which makes it difficult for me to walk. And that's it.
Great. Thank you. Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Wyman. I'm the Executive Director of Special Education in Needham Public Schools. I have been in the schools. This is my 20th year. Started in the classroom, then worked as the out-of-district coordinator, and now the Director of Special Ed.
Great. Thank you. And Alexa.
I'm Alexa Moore. I am a Needham resident. I grew up here, moved away for some time as an adult, and moved back about 10 years ago. I am on my second term with the commission. I have a son who's in the special ed program, although more of a learning disability. And professionally, I work for an advocacy organization for folks who struggle with or are affected by rare diseases. So figured my personal and professional life would sort of intersect and join the commission a couple years ago.
Great. Thank you all. So Tatiana, Karen is still having trouble. I don't know if have you been able to email
We did send her the link. Yeah,
Okay.
Felix is
All right.
coming in. I'm not sure what else we can do for Karen.
Okay.
Did she say what the trouble is?
Yeah, I'll send you the error message she's getting.
Yeah, I'm getting this. I was getting error messages as well. That's why I just had to join as a public member using an alternate email address because
Okay.
my email address is attached to a panelist, but I never got a panelist invite. And the only panelist invite I had was from February of this year, and it said that link has expired.
All right. If you don't mind, whatever link you use to get in, if you don't mind sending it to Karen, if you're able to do that. And we just are wrapping up the introduction. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and then we'll get started.
Yeah, it's just the link from the agenda that you sent.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
But
Okay.
tell her to use an alternate email address. That's how I was able to get in.
Okay.
That might be the error message that she's getting as well.
All right, great. If you could introduce yourself, that would be great.
Sure. Felix Zemmel. Hi, everyone.
Okay, good.
Welcome back from summer.
Yes, absolutely. It's good to be back in action. So Anne Marie and Phil, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk a little bit about the current project, and then we'll go from there.
All right, super. So Phil's going to be running the slide presentation while I do some conversation, and then he'll take it over when it's his turn.
Could I get permission to share my screen, please?
Yep. You should be all set.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to go pretty quickly over the actual design features. If we go to the first slide, Phil, but I know, Michael, you're new, so I don't know how much you've heard about it. So we're calling the development, it's on East Militia Drive here, across the street from the Charles River Center, which is at the top of the hill. And we're calling it the Charles River Heights. And the mission of this development is really to provide inclusive housing with a full spectrum of support services to really empower people with disabilities to live independently and achieve their personal goals and participate in their community. So we're going to be offering inclusive housing with flexible integrated support. So we'll talk about those areas, but the goal again is to empower people with disabilities, including those with autism, to access their communities and gain employment and live independently. So, and really this is a model community across the state. There isn't one exactly like this, and certainly not at the integration level that we're proposing. So it's attracted a lot of attention even up to the governor's level, so I will say. So if you can go to the next slide. So it's 3.5 acres that we purchased from the Army when they divested themselves of the land. And we'll be creating 86 new affordable housing units that will attract and retain household earnings at or below 30 to 80% of the area median income. This could include elderly residents, individuals with disabilities, young professionals, public and private employees essential to the town. 38 of those units will be those which the Charles River Center will support. So there'll be people who are referred for this service through the Department of Developmental Services, possibly Mass Rehab Commission, which is another funding stream. And we will be providing, if they choose us as the provider, which they most likely will, there has to be some choice element involved. We'll be providing the wraparound services that we'll talk about. We've also included 5 affordable apartments for Charles River staff to live, so that they're there really for the emergency support after hours. So these staffed apartments, so these are folks living on their own in these apartments, and my staff will come in and provide support services on a limited basis based on an assessment. And it's anywhere from 1 hour or 0 even up to 30 hours a week of intermittent staff support, but it's not overnight staffing like in a group home or anything like that. So we already provide about 35 to 40 support services to people living in and around this community and other communities, Norwood and so forth. So we are quite familiar with this service. What's one of the most exciting parts of this is, it was very important to us to give back to the Needham community, which has been so good to us over the soon to be 70 years, 70, that we've been in Needham. 2026 is our 70th year in operation in Needham. And so we intentionally put a 4,400 square foot community center in the development so that it is accessible to the general public, the Needham community. We could have, joint classes. There's going to be a good commercial grade kitchen and dining space, some meeting space, some recreation space. We already have members of the Needham community use our facility here at the Merit Center, but this would be an upgraded space to the Merit Center, which is now 25 years old. And also it was important to us that there'd be a lot of green space amenities, which could include walking trails, sensory community gardens, and covered outdoor exercise spaces is our vision. We have a very enthusiastic, very creative landscaper working with us to try to come up with some really cool features on how to use the green space and invite the Needham community in. We already have many people walking up and down our property now, and this would be a really upgrade to the walking trails on the streets, if you will. So as I said, we're trying to be creative and inclusive so that we invite the Needham community into this property, as well as help the folks who live there access the community resources within Needham. Next slide, please.
Yeah, Guy, can I just add one more thing, Anne Marie?
Please.
While we're talking about just the overall concept here is that all 86 of those units will be, the entire property will be visitable, and they will all be adaptable. The ones that aren't, group 2 accessible. Just wanted to mention that while we're talking about the
Sure.
concept. And I'll go to the next slide.
Wait, could you repeat that? So all of them are group 1 units except the ones that are not group 1 or group 2?
Group 2.
So how many are group 2 then? Like what
It's
percentage?
38. 38,
What
so
group?
about half.
Okay.
So this is a more detailed rendering of what the development, well, you saw it in a blink.
Look
So
beautiful.
that was a more updated, and Phil's gone. Perfect. So we saw, you saw a more detailed rendering of the development than probably what you've seen previously. So we're very proud of the way it looks. And, you know, some of the feedback from the town is, could we update the way it looks from our first rendering? And we took that to heart and we went back to the drawing board and really tried to upgrade the look and feel of the development. So it's more modern and less like other public housing in the town of Needham. Looks like less than, looks not so much like that. So I'll keep talking. He'll show you some more renderings. So basically, what you'll see is there's 3 smaller units to the front of the property as you pull up the driveway. And those are studio apartments so that it's almost like a wing of 3 studio apartments. And then is a joint community center and another wing of 3 studio apartments. So this is a model that we modeled after a Denmark model called Separate and Together. So that means that somebody can stay in their studio apartments as, you know, live on their own, be independent and so forth, but there will be opportunities to come together in the conjoined, if you will, community center that will be attached to another set of 3 studio apartments. So we're very excited about that. So, you know, it's drawing people into the community, out to socialize with others and so forth. And the larger structure in the back is so you see what I'm talking about in the smaller units. The space in between is the community center for each of those little units. So that's 6 in total in each of the 3 buildings, 18 in total, but 6 in each. Then the larger building in the back, we're calling Building A, and that's a 3-story structure. It's 67,000 square feet, and there'll be 68 units in there and 3 levels. So our clientele that we'll be supporting in terms of wraparound services will be intermingled with the other community members, so really integrated. They'll be in that building on the base, on the bottom where it's very well lit. In the front of it is the community center we talked about. There's also going to be lobby space. In total for this whole development, there's 61 parking spaces. And that's because not all of our clientele will be driving, but some will. And then the other spaces. And each of the 3 buildings you can see their own parking allotment, if you will, for that. And each of the buildings, the 3 little ones and the larger one, also have outdoor patio space that's available to the people who live there. It's a passive house design, and there's on-site renewable energy creation. And like I said, around the whole perimeter will be walking spaces. Some feedback I heard is people also want the opportunity to do a small community garden there, or some sort of a raised bed situation or some horticultural activity, which we will do for them. That's part of the plans. So, you know, I'll take any questions if you have them, and then if not, Phil can continue and talk about where we are in the I wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about the integrated supports and services. So it's probably very important for you to know. So some of the things, this model is called in-home supports model, where again, people are able to live on their own safely and have demonstrated a certain level of independence that allows them to live independently, but they will need assistance. This might be the first time they ever lived alone. They maybe lived alone before and lost that placement due to some reason, or maybe they've turned 22 and they have, you know, good skills to be able to live on their own, but we're going to support them in terms of things like peer supports, getting peers to interact with each other, adult companionship, maybe college navigation, employment, you know, help them find jobs, or job coach them in jobs they currently have or help them secure the jobs. Remote monitoring supports will be part of this model. So there'll be some technology involved, and really, this is a very exciting time to be talking about remote monitoring and supports and what the folks need. And for transportation, we will have a shuttle service that brings them off of this development and into the community on a planned basis for social recreation reasons, as well as things like banking, grocery shopping, doctor's appointments, that sort of thing. And the exciting thing is North Hill would like to partner with us in that transportation service. So again, it will be integrated with their population. They already have a shuttle service, but of course you never have enough. So they definitely want to partner with us, which is super exciting. They've been extremely supportive and really want to get involved. So I'll stop there. Any questions so far? I'm sure some of you heard this, but others haven't.
This is Michael. I'm interested about the assistance. Of course, there'll be some criteria for which a person can declare that they're independent, but as a person declines over time, what's the plan for the longer term for a person who may kind of fall out of that level of independence?
Right. So, Michael, if we were to so-called put the services that we provide on a continuum, this is, a level of independence. As they decline, they would be referred back the Department of Developmental Service or Mass Rehab Commission for community group home living. That's the next model. And that is not part of this service currently. We're really trying to remain true to this population that needs supports and service to live on their own, because when we did our assessment, we determined that this was a huge gap in the human service world. These folks are often in a crisis situation when they're living at home with elderly parents and the parents can no longer take care of them. They could become homeless, or they get misplaced into a group home, but their skill sets are far more than that, which is typical of folks living in group homes. So that it's almost like it's the higher end of our continuum, if you will. I mean, the goal too would be somebody could live completely on their own, and that would be ideal. And they could stay in this environment and live completely on their own. Maybe with, crisis intervention, snowstorm, power outage, I don't know, all those things. Yeah. Great question. So Phil, if you can talk about where we are in the process, that would be great.
Yeah, of course. And sorry, I dropped for a second and I just went over and Anne Marie, you kept forging on. And so I went through a bunch of renderings. If we want to go back to any of them, just let me know. But I'll talk about the timeline and our our plan for the next couple of years, what we'll be working on, and also our funding sources. So back in June, we submitted our application. So let me back up for a second. So this project is going to be zoned under what's called a comprehensive permit. It's a Chapter 40B in Massachusetts, and the first step in doing that is submitting an application to the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities for a project eligibility letter, which just basically says the project is an affordable housing project and would be eligible under Chapter 40B. So that was our first step, which we submitted that application earlier, in the summer, and September. Right now, we're waiting for that letter to be issued. It could be issued here in the next couple days or next week, and then once we have that letter, and what we're working on now is putting together our comprehensive permit application that would go to the Zoning Board of Appeals. And currently we're targeting submitting that application to the zoning board on October 6th. So that will, I see, Felix, you have your hand raised. If you have a question, go ahead.
Yeah, but I can hold it until the end as well. I just didn't want to forget to raise it.
Oh, okay, I thought you had one about the process, but
I do, but I can hold it till the end.
Okay, whichever. So while we're at the Zoning Board of Appeals, will be also the state puts out their annual winter funding round for most of what this project will be funded with in our capital stack. We got our CPA award from commitment from the town at town meeting, which was just fantastic. I tell Anne Marie all the time, we don't see this level of commitment from a lot of municipalities for this type of especially this type of project. And then we also have some money that has been appropriated from the Economic Development Bond Bill. But the rest of our funding sources will be through the Low Income Housing Tax Credit Program, State Low Income Housing Tax Credit Program, and then what I call an alphabet soup of subordinate debt from the state. And those state sources that I just mentioned, those will be what we're applying for here in November is when we anticipate that pre-application will be process will open up and be due, and then the typical full application is due towards the end of February. And then it's around the summertime where you'll hear about funding awards. So we're at July 2026. And then after you're awarded funding, you can typically start construction somewhere between 8 to 10 months from that date. And we anticipate this being an 18-month construction period. So it's about a 3 to 4 year process to from or longer if you count the when Charles River Center acquired the property back in October of 2023. But we anticipate having a frosty ribbon cutting ceremony in November of 2028. So our funding sources, for the most part, that Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, that's the bulk of our sources that are not yet committed, and we'll be looking to start that application here soon. The two biggest items that the state wants to see is a local funding commitment, which we have. And the next one is zoning and working with the town staff. I'm pretty confident that we'll have our zoning in place by the time the February applications due. So that's gonna look really good when when that's done and when HLC does their review. At the same time, there'll be some money from Mass Housing that will also highlight on our application for the workforce housing units, those housing units that are at 80% of area median income. There's another pot of money from the Department of Energy Resources that we'll be applying for, which is it's for properties that are highly energy efficient. So we're going to be checking those boxes where we'll be an all-electric building. We'll be doing on-site energy creation through solar. We think this will be a very competitive and compelling project for them to fund. And then there'll be a smaller pool of money from Mass Saves that will help us to pay for a lot of the money that will go into to designing what's called a passive house building, which is it's really a building envelope system that's very rigorous and should help once we get to the operating phase in keeping the building costs down for us, but also for the residents. And Anne Marie, that's all. Is that all I had?
That's it. And Felix,
okay.
You had a question?
Yeah, so a couple. First, I thought that Needham was already past their 40B threshold.
Yes, you are. You're at 13% SHI, but it doesn't stop us from asking to do a Chapter 40B. It just means that if let's say you had a developer that wanted to use 40B and it wasn't a good site from the town's perspective, you could say no, and there wouldn't be much recourse that developer had. In this case, we very much are working with the town, and we're using 40B to as a zoning tool here. The other option would have been to rezone the site, but that would have set our timeline back a year or maybe a year and a half. Really, the catalyst for this project was getting that $5.5 million appropriation in the Economic Development Bond Bill that was in November, which only left. So once we got that, that left us a tight window to try to rezone. So in working with the town staff, we decided this 40B route would be the most efficient way to get the project permitted.
So this is a friendly 40B.
It's a friendly 40B, yeah. And I don't want to do an unfriendly 40B. I don't have the stomach for it.
Yeah. And what, just for my own knowledge, what kind of relief other than density relief and height relief and dimensional relief are you planning on looking for in this comprehensive permit? Because I'm assuming density and height are your two bigger ones.
Yes, density, height, use, because as of now, the property is zoned for single family use. It was, there were about 12 single family homes on the site when it was Army housing. And then the other will be parking, where we're under the parking thresholds here.
But you're not looking for like conservation or like any of that stuff.
No, I don't believe so. We'll have a separate process with conservation because there is a drainage swale that's just off the page here on the rendering, and so we will be submitting an NOI to conservation for relief there. But we've moved the building out of the 100-foot buffer and are just doing minimal grading in that area. And we've met with conservation to discuss that and get that application ready once we are done with our zoning board process.
Okay. And more bringing it back to the NCOD, what about like on-site amenities for people with challenges, with various challenges? Like what kinds of amenities are you going to have that kind of address that aspect?
So, Anne-Marie, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah.
You were starting to.
So if I understand you correctly, so on-site amenities, again, there's the community center, there's there'll be an accessible walking path, some exercise areas, the patios, again, a shuttle service, that sort of thing. Is that what you're referring to?
But not like game areas, like outdoor game areas or like pool, or like any of that stuff.
Yeah, so horticultural was something that has been requested. So that's the other thing I talked about. But my vision, and we haven't really put it into the rendering, is outside exercise areas that are covered for the warmer weather, so that again we can invite people from the Needham community, elders, senior, the senior center, or whomever, to come and join us for chair yoga or some other exercises that will be accessible to everybody.
And so we have a nice courtyard space here that's, right now we're still at the early phases, but once we start thinking about what we want to do with this space here, this is building A, the 68 unit building. This is probably a space that we'll want to program for something like, group activities or even just a place where folks can sit down. I know our landscape architects been doing a lot of thinking about sensory gardens and things of that nature to try to program each little space here. And each one of the, see which slide it is. You can't, okay, there we go. There it is. Back here, there'll be patio spaces and then, like a little common outdoor space here. And we're still early, but we're going to have plenty of opportunities for outside recreational spaces that are programmed, and then Some will be unprogrammed for stuff like, yard game, lawn games, or whatever the residents want to do. And we'll have, little storage sheds to store that stuff for folks.
Great. Are there any other questions or comments people have?
Just one comment. It looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Thank
amazing.
you.
It's really so exciting. And we appreciate you coming this evening to share this with us. And we look forward to continued updates.
Yes, I just want to tell you that we continually update our website at the charlesrivercenter.org, not the charlesrivercenter.org. And there's also an FAQ section that we update when we get questions from various community groups and neighbors and so forth. So please check back regularly to see where we are in the process. And you can always email us if you have questions or comments or suggestions. We read them all.
Okay, that is terrific. So we
Thank
hope to stay in touch. And thank you both for joining us.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for your
much.
time this evening.
Okay, take care. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Wow. That was really something.
Beautiful.
So moving us right along, we have some more mundane tasks to get to, which are the approval of our June 17th meetings. Minutes from our June 17th meeting. So are there any comments or questions people have? Otherwise, I will, if you were here and present at that meeting, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes, unless there's any comments or feedback.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
All right, thank you, Maureen. Is there a second?
A second.
All right, thank you, Karen. So we do a vote via Zoom roll call. So I approve. Jeannie?
I approve.
Pardis, I'm going to give you a minute to get off mute. Oh, there you are.
Approve.
Okay, great. Maureen?
I approve.
Lynn?
I approve.
Alexa?
Approve.
Karen?
Approve.
Felix?
Approve.
Okay, terrific. So the minutes from our June meeting are approved. Michael, those are on the website if you want to get a copy of them. I'm happy to send them to you as well.
Okay.
Okay, great. So I'm going to move us into the co-chairs report. So we welcome Michael, I think Felix, and Karen, you joined. So I don't know if you want to take a moment and introduce yourself, but.
Oh, hi. I had technical difficulties. I'm Karen Morales, and I'm a co-chair with Carol.
All right, terrific. So our next order of business after welcoming Michael, we sadly are going to say farewell to Jeannie, and we wanted to plan a little celebration. We're hoping at the Cath for some weeknight within the next 2 to 4 weeks to thank her for her service. Jeannie, remind me how many years of service it is. It's an amazing amount.
29.
29 years of service to the NCOD is quite something.
Wow.
So we were thinking a 4 to 6 time frame, and if it's a nice enough day, we could use that roof deck at the Cath.
Nice.
So
At the what building?
at the center at the Heights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, otherwise known as the Cath. Yeah, sorry for the acronym. So I am going to work with Jeannie and Tatiana and the center to come up with some dates, and I'll send them out via email, maybe do a doodle poll to get the date that works the best for people. So you can look for that to come out soon so we can say a proper goodbye to Jeannie.
And we're going to
Carol,
try
if you
and
could just keep in mind the Jewish high holidays.
I will absolutely keep that in mind. And there are a number of us that still work full time, but that 4 to 6 time frame seems good. So some of us might not be able to get there until the second half, but if that works for people, we're going with that time frame.
and we're going to try and include some former members. of the
Absolutely, yes. So I've been working with Tatiana and Jeannie on some on our guest list. So stay tuned for that event to come out. There are a couple of other things that have been sent out via email that I wanted to call your attention to. The first one was the Town of Needham Committee member orientation and training. So there's 2 dates. It's a 2-part session on September 29th and October 9th. So that is a terrific training if you're new to committee work. So I don't know, Michael, if that'd be something you're interested in. And if you need a resend on that email, just let me know.
Okay.
Yep, there's also the annual harvest fair that's on October the 5th. And I know Kelly, you have got you are always there. And in the past have had our brochures. Does that
Right.
still work? Is there anything else anybody wants to do in terms of our visibility in the community? And Tatiana, we still have brochures to give to Kelly?
We should. Kelly, do you still need some?
I'm gonna
we
have
gave
to
you
check my box. I'll reach out to you to see how many I have, if not any.
It could probably use an update too, the brochure.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
put those
Mhm.
together before the pandemic.
All right, well, let's take a look at those. And then last but not least, there's a community hearing and resource fair on Tuesday, November 4th. It's a town hall that Karen and I were going to go to. I think, Karen, you were going to sign us up.
I did sign us up.
All right, terrific.
I know that I've heard anything back, but let me
Okay.
look.
All right, so that's something that we want to
And
stay connected
also,
with.
and I'm going to participate in community access monitor training on
Excellent.
this Thursday and next one. Yeah, I plan to go both sessions, September 18 and 25.
That
I
is
will let
terrific.
you know when I finish.
All right.
There's also an advanced training taking place on November 6th for those that have already taken the basic training. The MOD is offering an advanced training session on November 6th.
And the people that are trained, I know Lynn was trained and Jeannie was, but she's stepping off, and Tatiana, you are, but I don't think there is anybody else other than Lynn and Pardis. So that we appreciate that. Jeannie, is there anything, or Karen, is there anything else that you wanted to add before we move on to Tatiana's report?
No, I'm good.
Okay, great. So Tatiana, we'll turn it over to you.
So just a few financial updates. Last year, we had a couple of expenses on the budget, one of them being $190 for the Carroll Center for the participation of one of their members in the low vision group at this center at the Heights. I just wanted to report that throughout the summer, I tried to work with the Carroll Center to provide an invoice for the services, which were listed at 190, and I was not being very successful. I finally reached out to the director of the Carroll Center, and they graciously decided to not charge for the event. So I like a vote by the commission to close out that PO since it will not be needed. So if I could make a motion to close out the PO that was originally intended for $190 for the Carroll Center for the Blind, so that money gets put back into the general fund for FY25. I'd like to make that motion, please.
Okay. I think I can second that motion.
I'll make that motion.
All right.
I'll make that motion, but was this out of a revolving account, or was this like, why is it going into the general fund?
We don't have a revolving account. We have an operating fund that the town provides. And so any monies that are not expended prior to June 30th go back into the general fund. That's for every budget.
Right. And we can't spend it now since we're past the date. So,
yeah.
Oh, so my motion holds. I was just wondering.
Okay. All right. Good question. So I approve. Jeannie?
Yes, approve.
Pardis?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Approve? Yes, approve.
Maureen?
Approve.
So wait, Carol, we can't have both Jeannie and Michael vote.
Oh.
So
okay.
I was actually confused. Michael, have you been sworn in as a member?
I have.
Yep.
So then
but we can have 9 members. I mean, we can have it. We're 8 to 10 members. So aren't we okay?
Yeah, but I think Jeannie's term is expired and Michael is filling that term.
Correct.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Then we'll let Michael vote.
I approve.
Okay, all right. I lost track of where I was. Maureen and Lynn, did you vote?
No, but I approve.
Okay.
And
Maureen?
I did approve, yes.
Okay. Alexa,
Approve.
Karen,
I approve.
Felix.
Approve.
All right, threw me off my game. That's all
All
right.
right, Kara, you're not calling on me for anything. I know I feel bad, but I do have to vote as well.
Um, so do you have more?
Yes, I do. I have one more thing. But so we have a budget update. We are nearing the time where we have to submit our budget for FY27, believe it or not.
Wow.
I know. So next month, I will come in with a draft proposal of the budget. I
Okay.
do want to alert you a couple of things. There was an increase to the budget to do more programming, which is effective this year, as of July 1st. So keep that in mind. If we're trying to do more, programming partnership with the CATH or any other, local organization that helps or assists the disability population in Needham. That's an increase to the budget. I also wanted to let you know that a town policy was passed to increase every committee liaison stipend, which up until June 30th was $1,500, has now been increased to $3,000 a year. So you'll see
that's
that change.
terrific.
Yeah. So we did not budget. We did not budget for that for this year, and the town will cover the rest because it was a policy change that occurred after the budget was approved. But you will see that in next year's budget.
Okay. Felix, your hand is raised.
So on that, are you and Kelly both considered community liaisons for this, or is it just you?
It's just me. Kelly's the liaison to the police department. Just like Stephanie's here, she's the liaison to the school department. I am the committee liaison.
Yeah. And she does a tremendous amount of work to support us. A lot of things behind the scenes in terms of, phone calls with people that come in and all sorts of things to support us. So I think it is a well-deserved increase. Thank you.
I appreciate that. But it is a town-wide increase. So it's actually, it affects all extra committee liaisons.
Yes. All right. Well, I don't know about them, but you do good work. So, okay.
If I might, this is not on the agenda, but I think it's warranted, given how much trouble some people seem to be having with Zoom. Yes. I just want to share my screen and show you guys like what we're working with, just so people can go back and ensure that they're on the right link. So let me just do that real quick.
Okay. Yep, that sounds good.
Okay, so right now I'm sharing my, if you go to the email address that you use to come here and you just type panelists, this is Outlook, so it's going to look different depending on what you use. Yep. You should be able to get an email like this. See, this is where I am a panelist in a different meeting. You'll get something from Zoom, not from me, but it's on behalf of Tatiana Swanson that says that you have been invited to be a panelist.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, I tried that.
We're not getting those.
Yeah,
we're not getting those.
So if you don't have this, this is where you will join. You will join from here, right? So for those of you that are able to find it, because some of you are coming in as panelists. So like Jeannie came in as a panelist, Lynn came in as a panelist. So some people are coming in using the invite. The other thing, so when I'm here, let me see if I can go to Zoom now. Yep. So this is the invite. The webinar does not change. It's the same link month after month. So you'll see I have the monthly already set up. That's why you have a reminder in June and July. I'm sorry, in July and August, even though we don't meet, because it's set to be to start every third Thursday of every month. If I go to the actual meeting, and I go to invitations, like I deleted Karen and she's in here again, but let me just see if I can move you guys over here so I can see. This is the list of people that, and so you see resend. That's because the link has been sent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, after this meeting, I'm going to resend the links again.
Okay.
Now, this will happen tonight. If you do not get a Zoom, you've been invited as a panelist, please email me so we can figure out what's going on. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have to save that email somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere where you can easily find it. Because the problem is that usually you can log in as if you were a member of the audience through the link that's given in the agenda, and I can promote you to a panelist like I did with some of you. But for some reason, it was given Felix and Karen an error saying you need to use a different email address. So I'm just gonna stop sharing because this is being recorded. But so I will do that tonight. I'm going to resend every panelist invite tonight. And if you do not get a panelist invite tonight, please email me tomorrow and say I did not get it.
Okay, we
And
got it.
hopefully that takes care of it.
Yep, hoping for better results next month. Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you for
okay.
that tutorial.
Thank you very much. And that's it for me. And I just wanted to ask Alexa if I can make you co-host because I need to log off.
Okay, can I ask you
Have
one
you-
question?
Sure.
Before you go, we're moving on to the updates on our current initiatives. And
Yeah.
one of them was there was a survey for the Good Neighbor Award that was supposed to get posted over the summer. Did that happen?
It did. Thank you for that reminder. It is posted to our website. I think we do need to get back with Amy to promote it. It is the questionnaire or survey that that Karen put together.
Yep.
So it is posted to our website. We just now need to sort of promote it within the community.
Has anybody responded?
No.
Not a one?
No, but it's not known, and unless we get
Okay.
traffic
Right.
through our website. So like I said, I think we can make some efforts with and I can take care of that with Amy to actually now promote it now that you know that it's posted to the website, and then maybe spread the word around through the Facebook groups and other places.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you. Tatiana has COVID, so she is going to go take
Feel
care of
better.
that. Yes.
Good
All
luck.
right.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you very much. I will watch the remainder of this recording though. But I'm gonna just take some more medicine. If there's anything else that needs to be done right away, Carol or Karen, you guys can email me and I'll jump on that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take
Okay.
care, everybody. And Alexa, just stop the recording and it'll go to the cloud automatically when you're done. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So Jeannie, you wanted to talk about the sensory-friendly trunk or treat event.
Yeah, just to review, the Congregational Church here in Needham has been holding this trunk or treat event for this will be the 5th year, where members of the church are invited to bring their cars to the parking lot. They decorate them and hand out candy to child in Needham or the neighboring towns to come. And for the last 3 years, I think they have had a sensory-friendly portion where the first hour and a half is open to families with children with special needs. And we had heard from some parents that they either didn't know about it or had been and wanted to expand it. So I agreed, this is my home church, so I agreed to be in conversation with the minister there and see how we might help. The first thing that we talked about was the date, and I know the police department had mentioned that they possibly had some things they could add to the event, except for the fact that the date that the church is going to do it is the same date that other events are going on in town. They are going to do it on Saturday, October 25th. So I think that is in conflict with other police activities. Is that right, Kelly? As far as you
Yeah,
understand?
I'm assigned to do the Needham High School craft fair to raise money for
Okay.
the Dana-Farber, so I won't be able to bring the ice cream truck there
Okay.
unless I can get somebody else to do it with the approval of the chief.
Well, I think it's okay. The other bit of news is that the church now has a director of youth and family services or Christian ed, or I'm not sure what her title is exactly. She started just 2 weeks ago, but she is in charge of this event, and I've had a couple conversations with her. So I think it's going to be easier for me to be in conversation with her than the minute, not that he's hard to deal with, but he's just so busy with other things that she's really focusing on this event. And here's what we have talked about so far. For the sensory friendly portion, I've also talked with Jen Caddy, who's a parent, maybe Karen, you know her, in the CPAC group. She's also a church member and has attended this event. And she and Darlene and I have talked about various ways that we can improve the event for the sensory friendly portion. The main thing they want is to have non-food giveaways for children. And they focused on things like fidgets, limes, tattoos, stickers, coloring pages, because as they're going to have these cars decorated giving out treats. It can be candy or it could be these giveaways. And they hope to have some activity tables so children can come to the table and even they don't have it figured out yet, but a simple craft as well as things like coloring pages, dot to dot, etc. They want to emphasize that everything that they give away is non-scary. It's meant to be very calming event, which is hard to do with Halloween, but that is the focus that the sensory friendly portion will be all non-scary activities and items that are given away. So the way that we might help if we want is we could provide funding for some of these giveaways.
Okay.
The fidgets and slimes and stuff that they want to give away to the children who come. And what I wasn't sure is if the church would need to write a grant for that, or how would that work?
This is where we might need Felix. Do you know?
So what I'm thinking is that they should request it as a grant, because otherwise if we give it to them unsolicited, I feel like it's a church and state type situation. I think they should submit some sort of grant application to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to submit a grant application.
Okay, and I'm sure I will help them with that grant. I'm wondering what is a reasonable amount for them to request for these items?
I mean, I think if we call this like an all community children's like activity, I mean, wouldn't it be like $500 or I mean, it could 250. I don't know how much.
Yeah,
I think that's
Temu
way more
toys
than
are
they
not
need.
very expensive.
Yep. Felix?
So I hate to say this because I love the idea, but I hate to say this. As Jeannie is an outgoing member of the board, I don't know if she can actually help write the grant legally. It might be a violation of the state conflict of interest law.
Okay.
And her asking us how much to give is also could be I think that the church has to request it and then we have to assess.
Okay.
Otherwise it's a
That
potential
makes sense.
violation.
I'm sure that's not a problem.
Yeah, the directions are pretty straightforward on the website, so that's good counsel. So we can proceed accordingly.
But in terms of the timing, they need to get this grant in so that it can be voted on at the October meeting.
Right. Yep.
For the event that's going to be the following week. So they'll get the funding after the fact, I guess.
Correct.
I just did a quick Amazon. You can get 1,000-piece fidget toys in bulk for like $30.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not that expensive.
Okay. The other question is, they ask church members or anyone who wants to, but they start with church members to decorate their trunk for this event. And they always have a good number, but they could always use more. And the question is whether NCOD would like to decorate a trunk and actually have a presence there.
We could do one. I could probably get some of the high school kids to like do my car as like a community service thing, and we could just write them a note for high school that they've volunteered a few hours. I'll try
Yes.
to get a group of freshmen to come up with an idea theme.
Get those hours in early.
Yeah, get those hours in. Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as somebody more official than me signs off on it so that
Yep.
mom doesn't, then I can definitely get a group to do that.
That's terrific.
Okay.
I think that's all I have.
Okay, great. We've been talking about this for a while, so it's good to see it come together.
What are the hours, I'm sorry, of the event?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
I know generally, I don't know specifically. It's usually in the early afternoon.
Do you want
But-
any corporate sponsors for that? Like,
Well, I had asked
yeah.
the church, Darlene Wong is the name of the new Christian ed director, and she said the church, the minister has said he does not want to go that route.
Okay.
All right. So Maureen, is there anything that you have to share on the autism welcoming training?
No, I don't have any other takes at this point, but we would hope to get the article out that, and hopefully we would get some more interest if we could get the article in the Observer. Karen and I have to connect. We've been trying for like 2 months. If I was traveling, then the reporter was traveling, then, you know, the whole thing.
She's ready now, Maureen. I'm supposed to text you. She
Okay.
sent us a note, so I'm supposed to text you on that. But I figured after tonight we could communicate. Jeannie, going back to the other thing,
Yes.
if we don't want corporate sponsors for businesses that sort of lean towards being more inclusive, could we put a call out on Facebook to say, like, I'm thinking about some of the like dental practices that have been trained to like support kids with autism or things like that. If they want to pop up their own trunk and do a booth, is that possible?
I don't think so. That
Okay.
I will check again, but because I discussed this, not with the minister directly, but with the associate minister, and she said she's pretty sure Reverend John doesn't want that.
Okay. And then I think this goes without saying, but Felix, we just have to make sure it doesn't like lean religious. Right?
It's not, yeah, it
okay.
is.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Something else just occurred to me and now it's left my brain. It'll come to me. So
Okay.
you might have to circle back. I
We
just
can
had
circle
another
back.
question and I've forgotten.
Not a problem. And Felix, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I think if it's done as a grant, it might be able to lean religious as long as it's not like pushy. I'm not sure about that aspect.
But
if it's done as a grant.
no,
Yeah, I mean,
the church actually does many of these community events and they're purposely non-religious.
Right. And
They had
the
an
spirit
egg
of the
hunt that
grant.
was
The
not
spirit of the grant, yeah.
associated with Easter, but just
Right. I mean, the spirit of the
open.
grant is to support the community and, you know, people with, you know, different abilities. So it seems to fit that. Okay. So Maureen and Karen, that's great on the next steps with the publicity. About the program.
That's, I'm sorry, that's what I was thinking about is that's the other way they want us to get involved is to think of as many unique and whatever ways to publicize the event because, you know, they get a good crowd, but they can take on more children. So what are there any, other than the social media, are there any or other ideas about how to reach out to the community?
In that weekly paper that some people read, the CPAC has a newsletter.
It will be there. Yeah.
I think the local preschools or daycares, if we have like a list that would be easy to disseminate. And then I think it's the follow-up from anyone that used to go to Allie's event. So I'm gonna text Allie now because I know she's been super busy and been hard to get a hold of, but I'm gonna text her and see if I can get, like if she can send a note to her people to say it's moved locations. I'll work on that.
Okay, great.
We can put it on our website, the town.
Yeah, and the news you need, it should go in there too. We have to put that on the list for Tatiana.
Yeah.
There's also there's calendars too, Jeannie, on both News You Need 'Em and then the Needham Observer. So it can get plugged in there too as an event so that people could see it that way.
And then Maureen, can you
I'm
get it
sorry,
on?
Maureen, I
sorry.
missed the beginning of what you said.
For the town newsletter, the News You Need 'em, and also Needham Observer, they both have event calendars. So we could pop that in right there, I think, and that way it would just be on for people scrolling through to see what's going on.
Okay. And Maureen, can you get it to the folks at Charles River? In case. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fab.
Okay, excellent. Anything else, Jeannie? Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. So we got publicity for the Autism Welcoming event. We talked with Tatiana before she left about the Good Neighbor Award, getting that survey out so we can recognize some more community businesses. Michael, last year we recognized Serenity Nail Spa for being so accommodating to the community, especially folks with disabilities. And that brings us to Maureen, you and I have an outstanding action item to get to those Needham Center shops. So I will connect with you on that. And then last but not least, Pardis, were there any partnerships that you're currently working on? Any programs?
No, there is no partnership right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe this is a topic for the future because we requested more money from the
Yes.
town to do more community events. And we had talked about, we had done a program last year at the CAF with a low vision
Yes.
group that Pardis was a part of. But also we talked about having a speaker come to the library. So we've got some funds available that we asked for. So maybe we can add that as an agenda topic for next month. And, we can think of some new ideas. These are sort of our current initiatives, but maybe there's some other thoughts that people have.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, so that's our update on the current initiatives. And now we're moving to the school department update. Stephanie?
Hi, everyone. It's nice to be back after school department took a few months off for summer, although I don't think any of us took any time off. So we are 4 weeks into the school year. Everybody's getting into routine. Kids are happy in the school buildings and everything is off to a great start. We are working hard across the district on the building plans for what will be the new Pollard. So that's exciting. There's been a lot out in the community about that. But that's kind of our biggest task at this moment. A lot of work on Portrait of a Needham Graduate across the schools and in all levels, elementary, middle, and high. Really focusing on those initiatives that the district has put forth as their priorities this year.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Felix, any updates on accessible parking?
Nothing to update, nothing new.
Okay, nobody's seen any issues. Looks like the library is trying to do a better job with their signage. Lynn, the diversity initiative?
No updates. They're still continuing to meet. I mostly can't attend their meetings, and I've asked them to issue some kind of notes or minutes or something, but they have not done that to date. So, but they're continuing to meet on the Needham Heights Common. I think it's the first Saturday of each month.
Yep. Okay, so we'll stay connected with them. And Maureen, anything on the local emergency planning committee?
No, I've reached out again just to see if they're kind of ready to go and start those meetings up, and I just am not getting response. So I'm guessing no. I've asked to be added to the list when they do start them up and be put on the distribution list, but I don't know. I'm guessing nothing is happening there.
Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, certainly we want to be connected to that initiative. So, when there's something to report, we'll just leave it as a standing item and then you can share if there's something to share.
Okay.
All right. So that brings us, I think, to wrapping up and talking about the next meeting, which is October 21st. Jeannie, I think you sent out this message to the whole committee about Dementia Friends and Stephanie Knock at the NCC. I actually went to the training last night, and Stephanie is going to come next month to talk with us about Dementia Friends and the resources that are available. I guess, and Maureen, maybe you can talk about this, but there was a study that was done by the NCC about the need for support. And so Stephanie is going to talk with us about that and some of the resources. There is is it a memory cafe? But she's yeah, she's going to talk about some of those resources. So we'll invite her for next month, since we already had a guest for this month. Any other topics or new business before we wrap up? Okay, I would take a motion to adjourn if somebody would like to make it.
I will
make-
move.
Second.
Thank you, Felix. Pardis, are you ready to adjourn? We have to take a vote.
I make motion.
Oh, yep. So I'll let Pardis come off and mute. Michael.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, Maureen.
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Alexa?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Felix?
Yes.
Okay, Pardis, you vote in favor of adjourning?
Yes.
Okay, and so do I. So it has been great. It's good to be back in action. Good to see you all. Welcome, Michael. If you have any questions about what we talked about, Karen and I are happy to connect with you. And we look forward to your participation, and we'll see everybody in October.
Okay.
Great.
And stay
Thank you,
tuned for the
everyone. This is a
everybody.
wonderful.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
All right, thank you.